Welcome to Black Entrepreneur Blueprint, the #1 podcast and resource for Black entrepreneurs. I'm your host, Jay Jones, and Black Entrepreneur Blueprint was created specifically to educate and inspire Black entrepreneurs to launch, build, and grow successful, sustainable businesses. Join us as we help build an economic power base in the worldwide Black community by building and supporting Black-owned businesses. If you're currently an entrepreneur or want to be an entrepreneur, you're invited to join us each and every week here at Black Entrepreneur Blueprint. Welcome to the BEB family and get ready to elevate your entrepreneur IQ. Welcome to the Black Entrepreneur Blueprint, episode number 446. I'm your host, Jay Jones, and today we have another outstanding and informative show in store for you. Today's show topic is the #1 piece of advice for entrepreneurs in 2023. The #1 piece of advice for entrepreneurs in 2023. We know entrepreneurial success, guys, depends on many factors. It includes your industry, your product or service you're selling, your entrepreneur IQ, and more. But there's one piece of advice for all entrepreneurs that they should know and follow to help ensure your success for 2023 and beyond. Now, before we get to today's show, I just want to share a few things with the BEB family. First and foremost, I want to welcome all first-time listeners to Black Entrepreneur Blueprint. Welcome to the BEB family. Please stick around until the end of today's broadcast, and I'm going to share all my social media contact information and resource links, such as the link to my latest book, A New Black Wall Street, Circulating the Black Dollars Worldwide by Building Successful E-Commerce Businesses. Also, 2 platforms I've created to help circulate dollars in the worldwide Black community, BeSmartByBlack.com and HireBlackFreelancers.com. Now, those sites are still back under construction. We're revamping them to make them better. So please bear with us. If you go to those sites, just make sure you leave your name and email address, and we'll alert you when they are ready to rock again in 2023. Also, I want to mention, don't forget to take advantage of 3 days free access to BEBacademy.com. BEB Academy is an online learning portal to help you elevate your entrepreneur IQ. We have all types of online courses, masterclasses, workshops, PDF downloads, and other content that's going to help you generate revenues, increase sales, and scale your business. Go to BEBacademy.com and get 3 days free access. I also want to wish you guys a happy new year. This episode is going to air right after New Year's Day. So I hope you guys had a blessed and happy 2022, and we're looking for a very blessed, happy, and prosperous 2023. As we move into 2023, I just want to let you guys know that I'm looking to focus on the most impactful topics that I can share with the BEB family to help you elevate your entrepreneur IQ and launch, build, and grow successful, sustainable businesses. So we're going to be having more guests coming on. We're going to be having different programs, specials, workshops, and the whole shebang to be able to help you guys elevate your entrepreneur IQ for 2023 and beyond. Also, bear with me, guys. I have a little cold and a little sore throat that I'm dealing with. I think a lot of it came from I was out in Chicago for the Eagles-Bears game. I was out there hollering for the Eagles to win. Then we came back and took a tough L against Dallas with our backup quarterback. But that's all right. We ready. We ready, as Deion said. So we'll be ready for the playoffs to rock. But today we're going to talk about the #1 piece of advice for entrepreneurs in 2023. Now, this topic came up with a conversation of one of my young boys who I mentor. And he was just asking me, he said, man, you know, there's a whole lot of stuff going on, but what is one of the main things you want to focus on in 2023 for entrepreneurs? And so what I told him was the #1 piece of advice for entrepreneurs in 2023 is own and control everything you can about your business. Own and control everything you can about your business. And we're going to talk about that. And there's several ways to do it, but there are 4 key components that you want to control to be able to take control and own your business. And we're going to talk about those in a minute. But let's start off by talking about why you want to own and control everything you can about your business. So the biggest thing is control equals protection and stability. Control equals protection and stability. I was talking to my wife. I forgot what we were talking about, but I said the more variables you have, the more apt you are to make mistakes. So if you're doing a math problem and there's 7 variables, that means there's 7 different components you have to deal with. If you have a business and you have multiple variables that you have to deal with, then that just makes it harder for you to be successful. So control equals protection and stability. So control, it actually protects your business. It protects your current income. It protects your future income, and also protects your intellectual property. It also protects what you've built. So when you build a business, it's almost like your baby, right? And I know some people don't want to throw that baby out, but sometimes based on how your business is going, you may have to pivot or restart again. But building a business is something like having your own kid, because you build it from a concept, from ideation into something that's viable, that has its own heartbeat, that has its own life. And so you want to be able to protect that. So why you want to own and control everything in your business? Because control equals protection and stability for you and your business. Now, what does this mean? So what is that protection? So you need to be able to build a strong foundation for your business in order to have control and keep control of your business. Okay. So many entrepreneurs, they neglect the building of the foundation, and all you focus on is selling product or service. Okay. So just like any physical building, if you're building a high building, it needs to have a strong foundation. The higher you go, the stronger the foundation has to be to support that business. So do not waste time and neglect building a foundation. And we're going to talk about that, how you build that foundation and how you get that control over your business as we move forward in today's show. Before we get into the components of control that we're going to discuss, you guys have heard, obviously, the last several months about Kanye West, right? So Kanye made some statements, and obviously he got a tremendous amount of backlash from the Jewish community. He lost a whole bunch of deals. He lost a whole bunch of endorsements. For example, what is it? Adidas isn't going to put out his sneaker anymore. They're going to put it out without his name. And I think the only thing he has control over is the Yeezy slip-on. He owns the intellectual property on that, but everything else is owned by Adidas. Once again, lack of control. And anytime you get into a partnership or licensing agreement or whatever, that means that you have to understand what comes with that. When you're sharing control or giving up control, you don't have a say-so. So I always use this example for civilians, that people that aren't entrepreneurs yet, that are still working in corporate America. If you have a problem with what your boss demands, guess what? The option you have is you can complain about it, or you can find another job. You have very little control. So you want to be able to control your situation and your circumstances so you're not left ass out. So Kanye said he lost hundreds of millions of dollars because he didn't have control over all his entities. And I'm not saying that it's bad to partner with companies. That's fine. But recognize and understand what those partnerships entail and who has the bigger hand or the better hand in terms of the partnership. And with this, and I'm going to talk about vertical integration. But one of the things I talked about, I did a quick little video on it, is that Kanye doesn't understand the power that he has. He can go direct to consumer with his Yeezy sneakers, right? What does he need Adidas for? He has the profile. He has everything. He has the social media following, and he can go direct to consumer. You can go directly to the same manufacturer that's manufacturing Adidas sneakers, which is over in Asia, and cut a deal with them. Hey, these are my new sneakers or whatever, and you can start selling direct to consumer. A lot of times we don't understand the power that we do have. Now, Kanye, or Ye as he wants to be called, has a tremendous amount of power, but he doesn't even understand it. It's almost like You ever seen that when an elephant is little? If he's in the circus or he's a captive elephant, they'll tie a little rope around his leg, and that rope is attached to a stake. And so when the elephant is little, he's not able to pull his leg away from the stake. Now, when that elephant grows up, they put that rope and that stake there. Now, physically, the elephant can pull that stake out like nothing, but they've been conditioned to think that they don't have that power. And a lot of times, that's what happens to us. We think we need somebody else to be able to reach the levels of entrepreneurship that you think you can't reach on your own. And like I said, guys, I'm not saying partnerships aren't good, but you need to understand what you're getting into. When you have everything you need, when you have all the control and the revenues and the power, you don't have to partner with anybody. And that's where you want to be. You don't want to have to partner with somebody to stay in business. You don't want to make decisions that are rash just to stay in business. That's why it's important with today's content, where we're going to teach you how to build a foundation. And we're going to talk about 4 components that you must control in your business so you can continue to stay in business. So the question is, the number one piece of advice for entrepreneurs in 2023 is own and control everything you can about your business. And that's what we're going to talk about and dive into right now. So here are the 4 components that you need to control that must be built into your business so you can own and control your business. Number 1, and I say this ad nauseum, but a lot of people haven't heard this before, control your platform. Okay? If you don't control your platform, you don't have control of your business. I'm going to repeat that. If you do not control your platform, you do not have control of your business. Now, a platform is a medium that you communicate with your audience to. Now, let me tell you guys, social media is not a platform you control. Ask Kanye that, or ask Ye that, ask Donald Trump. Ask anybody that's been banned from Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, whatever. You do not control that platform. You use that platform and leverage that platform to help build a platform. You want to get email addresses, text phone numbers, things that you can control. So you can be kicked off of all of the social media platforms. Now, you're probably saying, all right, Jay, what can I control? So you're listening to a platform that you can control that nobody can stop, and it's called a podcast. Okay? So nobody can stop my podcast. Nobody can come in and say, hey, Jay Jones can't record Black Entrepreneur Blueprint. This is a platform that I control. I'm able to communicate with the BEB family anytime I want through my podcast. Another platform could be a newsletter. So if you're smart and you have an email database of your customers, you can, or your audience, prospective customers and current customers, you can always connect with them with a newsletter. Okay, same thing could be with a video. And I'm not talking about YouTube. All right. YouTube, once again, is another platform you do not control. There's tons of horror stories for creators who've gotten their YouTube channel banned. Okay. So YouTube, once again, is a platform you do not own or control. But you can communicate via video if you host your own videos. You could host your own videos on your own website, or you could use Vimeo, Vimeo.com, or Wistia, Wistia.com. So you can use those platforms to host your videos and have those videos on your website. No, you're probably not going to get the same amount of views that you would on YouTube. So what you do is you put the video on YouTube and you also put it on your own site. And what we're talking about is controlling your platform. You also can have a blog, okay? So you can have a website and blog. You can control that. So anything that you have complete control over is your platform. Anything you have complete control. You don't have complete control over social media. You do have complete control over a podcast. You have complete control over a video hosted on your platform. You have complete control over email. You have complete control over a newsletter. You have complete control over blog post. So control your platform. And what we're talking about, the number one piece of advice for entrepreneurs in 2023. And that piece of advice is own and control everything you can about your business. And I use the cautionary tale of Kanye, or Ye, as he wants to be called, and what happened to him. You know, I have several BEB family members that have told me horror stories about being kicked off social media, and they built their business on a platform like Instagram or Twitter, and they were doing very well. And then because of no fault of their own, they got kicked off of said platform. And a competitor, in one instance, a competitor had this brother kicked off of Instagram because he was selling competing products, and he had all of his followers go and complain about this other site or this other Instagram account, and they got the Instagram account shut down. And that was the only way this guy was selling, via Instagram. So guess what? He did not control his platform, and his business was done. And I know there's some of y'all out there saying, yeah, but that's not going to happen to me. Yeah, it's all good until it isn't, right? Listen to what I'm trying to tell you. All right, please control your platform. Use social media, build up as many followers as you can, but then funnel those followers into for them to give you their email addresses, their text numbers, all of that stuff, so you can build that database, okay, and control your platform. So that's number one. And we're talking about the number one piece of advice for entrepreneurs in 2023, and that's owning and controlling everything you can about your business. Number one, control your platform. Number two, control your content. Remember what they say, content is king, especially in today's environment. So make sure that you have control over your content that you create, unless you decide to license it out or sell it, or once again, share it for free. So I know a lot of times entrepreneurs will share our content for free, and that way we'll get more people to listen to us or watch us or whatever. But for example, if you write a book, right, you need to have that protected. So your videos that if you do online courses, those need to be protected. You don't want those out there getting ripped for free. And every other piece of content that you don't want to share for free, make sure that it's protected. So for example, if you're writing a book, obviously you want to copyright the book. Now, I just talked to a BEB family member the other day, and he was selling a physical product, and he was telling me that people were ripping his video off, and meaning copying his video and then changing the call to action to their website, which was selling the same product. So he was like, yeah, he talked to Wistia, right? I just mentioned Wistia before, who's a host. And he said, hey, are we able to stop people from stripping this video and putting it up on their site? And Wistia said, we don't have any protection for that. So literally, just think if you were selling a matter of fact, and the product was I think it was a camera that you put outside of your home, kind of like a Ring camera. And he had this nice video. And then the call to action was, click the button below. So people were actually taking his demonstration video that he created, copying that video, putting it up on their website, and then changing the call to action button to check out on their account. So basically they were stripping his content, and he spent a decent amount of time and resources to create this video, even though it was a short 3-minute video, but it was a nice video. So once again, you need to be able to control your content unless you want that content out for free or you license it. And remember, what we're talking about, guys, is in being able to control everything, own and control everything. So I did a deal with a company called Himalaya. They wanted me to create a course for them. It's an audio course. So it's called The Blueprint. So I created that course for them, and that content was specifically for Himalaya. You can't find that content anywhere else. But I got paid handsomely for it, upfront, and also royalties for that. So I'm controlling that content. This is something I created specifically for a deal I had with Himalaya. So I don't have to worry about, anybody copying it or listening to it, because I sold that to them and I get a royalty and I got an upfront payment, almost like a book deal. So, and what we want to make sure, guys, that we own and control everything you can about your business. So number one was control your platform. Number two, I just talked about controlling your content. And now, number 3, control vertical integration if possible. So you might be asking me, what is vertical integration? So vertical integration is a form of business organization in which all stages of production of a good, from the acquisition of raw materials to the retailing of the final product, are controlled by one company. So if you sell a physical product, this is paramount in terms of control. And so this may not apply to you if you're not selling a physical product. But I'm going to give you an example of my Hell Yeah hot sauce and what my plans are with the product. So right now, and this is controlling with vertical integration. I'm going to tell you why it's important. So right now, what I've done is I've created my recipes, and I've gone to 3 different co-packers who actually mix my hot sauce. I have 4 flavors, hellyeahhotsauce.com. Make sure you check it out. I have 4 flavors, and based on my specifications, they create my recipes. They create it, they mix it, put it in the bottle, slap my labels on, they ship it to me. Then I in turn ship it to my wholesale accounts, and I also sell direct to consumer on my website. Now, I am not in control of sourcing the raw materials or anything. But when I sell my mini bottles, one of the issues I'm coming up against right now is when I want to sell these mini bottles, they're like, oh, these mini bottles cost too much for us to sell them. These are a lot of the stores. You know, they say, can you get the cost down to about $1 and $1.25 per bottle? And right now it's costing me about $1.25 per bottle. They want their price to be $1.25 per bottle. So this is my goal with Hell Yeah Hot Sauce. The first thing I want to do is I want to bring bottling and packaging in-house. And the way I want to do that is I'm going to expand my warehouse, and I'm going to get bottling machinery and labeling machinery. And instead of ordering individual bottles of my sauce from my co-packers, I'm going to order 50-gallon vats of it. So they'll send the vats, and then I'll have those vats, and I'll do the bottling and labeling and packing them up. So that's the first stage of trying to take control of vertical integration. The next phase is being able to buy a hot sauce manufacturing facility. So now I'll be able to go in, and I'll have all the sourcing information, and I'll have all the resources to source my own hot sauce. So I'll be handling everything from the sourcing of the products, getting the bottles, packaging, mixing the sauce, selling, distributing, and the whole 9. Now, when I did the numbers on that mini bottle of hot sauce, and this is just for me doing the packaging and the filling, that mini bottle of hot sauce drops down from $1.25 to 62, I think it's 61 or 62 cents. It almost cuts it in half. So now, if I'm doing this at 62 cents, I'm able to sell it to a wholesaler for $1.25. Okay, so that's how vertical integration helps with your business. Another example of a company that you're probably familiar with, for especially the men, is Harry's Razors, right? So I use Harry's. Now, Harry's started out just like Dollar Shave Club. Dollar Shave Club actually buys their razors from somebody else. What Harry's did was they understood the economies of scale and being able to take control of vertical integration. So they actually bought a razor blade manufacturer in Germany, and they manufacture their own blades now. So they're not at the behest of somebody else's supply line. And what we're talking about, guys, is being able to own and control everything you can about your business and controlling vertical integration. So now you don't have to worry about supply lines. So when you go in the supermarket, especially during the height of the pandemic, there was barely anything in there. Supply lines were jammed up. So if you had a product that you were working with a co-packer or you're working with a manufacturer and they couldn't get the raw materials, guess what? You're jammed up. Another factor you have to deal with when you don't control the whole vertical is your manufacturer's time it takes to get your products. So with my flat irons, for example, when I started out, I was a small guy on the totem pole. So when I place an order, it goes behind companies that are ordering 20, 30, 40, 50,000 units. So I have to get placed in the queue. and I may not get mine done for 60 to 90 days. As my volume continued to grow and my relationship grew, I was able to work with the manufacturer where when I place an order, I can get put in the production queue a lot faster. So once again, in terms of control, when you can control that vertical integration, then that's going to definitely help build your business. We're talking about building a foundation for your business. The number one piece of advice for entrepreneurs in 2023 is own and control everything you can about your business. And the reason you want to do that, control equals protection and stability. And the 4 components that you want to control, if it's applicable: number 1, you always want to control your platform. Number 2, control your content. That's with anybody. Number 3, control your vertical integration. That only applies if you have a physical products business. And last but not least, number 4, and I touched on this a little earlier, control your database. Your database is the most valuable component of your business. Don't sleep on it. Your database is the most valuable component of your business. And I say this ad nauseum if you've listened to the podcast. When Borders Bookstore went out of business, Barnes and Nobles didn't buy the books. They didn't buy their stores. They actually bought their database out of bankruptcy. That's how important the database is. So they bought a database, their number one competitor's database of people that want to buy books. So what do they sell? What does Barnes and Noble sell? They sell books. What's the biggest asset that Borders had? Their database. They don't want the facilities. They don't want the stores. They don't want the books. They want the database. Okay, so you have to have a database for your audience, preferably email. Okay, and I know people like, oh, email's dead. I barely look at mine. Trust me, you control email. Email is where it's at. You also now can do text messaging. So if you can get email and text, so you'll see in a lot of opt-in forms, name, email, and phone number. That way they're able to send you text messages. So with your database, guys, you can connect with your audience at any time without fear of being restricted or shut down. You can connect at any time without being scared of getting shut down. Twitter account can get shut down. Instagram shut down. Facebook shut down. TikTok shut down. YouTube can get shut down. They're all fine and dandy, but you need to drive your followers on those social media platforms to help get your email database. That is important. I always talk about the difference between, you hear these gurus talking about $1 million product launch. The only difference between $1 million product launch and $100 product launch is the size of the database. Okay? So if you have the same 5% conversion ratio, if you have 100,000 people in your database with a 5% conversion ratio, what's that? That's 5,000 people that are going to take that offer. If you have 100 people in your database, that means 5 people are going to take that offer. Okay? 5,000 people converting versus 5 people converting. That's a big difference. Okay? And if you're selling something for $100, that's a real big difference. $500 over here versus what? $500,000 on the other one. That's the only difference. When you hear these gurus talk about $1 million product launch, they're smart enough to know that the database is king. It's your most valuable asset. You have to control that. Anybody that's in business right now that can hear this and does not have a formalized database, you're not building a foundation of success. You're not building a foundation of success. What does the Bible say? You can build a house on sand or you can build it on solid rock. Which one is going to stand up? The one on sand definitely is not going to stand up. You need to build it on solid rock. If you want to go high, your foundation has to be strong. And that's what we're talking about, guys. Owning and controlling everything you can about your business. And that kind of makes your business not indestructible. I did an episode on indestructible income. That's income people can't touch. But it makes your business be able to sustain when others fail. Okay? It gives you stability and protection. Control equals protection and stability for your business. If you do not have that, your business will not be sustainable. And I always talk about launch, build, and grow successful, sustainable businesses. It's all right to have a modicum of success for a few short months or a few short years. But if you're going to put in the hard work to be an entrepreneur, you want sustainable success. Sustainable success. It's a big difference. Anybody can be a one-hit wonder, right? You can be write a song or whatever, or be an artist, and you got that one-hit wonder, but do you have sustainability? Do you have the ability to last? Longevity. And that's where real wealth building comes in. Not that you can't make money real quick and then flame out, but you want to have that consistency, that sustainability where you can count on this income, this revenue, this business, where your relatives, your family, friend, your generations can count on that. DuPont was built like that. IBM was built like that. All your Fortune 500, Fortune 100 companies, they're built on a solid foundation. Control your platform, control your content, control vertical integration, and control your database. Building a solid foundation to be able to last and be successful and sustainable in 2023 and beyond. So the number one piece of advice for entrepreneurs in 2023, guys, is own and control everything you can about your business. You've seen the cautionary tales out there. You may be somebody who's listening to this that got kicked off a social media platform and you didn't have anything to fall back on. Just imagine how that feels when you've taken your time to build your business and then all of a sudden overnight, bam, it's gone because you now cannot connect or sell with your customers because the only way you were selling was through Instagram. That's the only connection you had. You just had followers on Instagram with no database. You got followers on Twitter with no database. You got YouTube subscribers with no database. Okay, and you get kicked off. Now what happens? What happens now? So I know it may sound counterintuitive, especially if you have a large social media following, but trust me, you don't want to be that one. Okay, it always happens to somebody else, right? That's what we all think. Sometimes it happens to us. So make sure that you build your database right now. Something simple as sending out or leading your social media followers to a landing page, get their name, email, address, give them a lead magnet, bribe them to leave their name and email address. You'll give them a free whatever, help them solve a problem. Build that database. It's the number one asset that any business has. And all Fortune 100, 500, and mega $1 million businesses know, recognize, and understand that. And if they're doing it, that means that you need to pay attention to it too. Because all of those companies started just like yours with an idea, ideation. DuPont isn't any greater than you are today. When they started, it was an idea. They actually started selling gunpowder. And from that, they parlayed that sale of gunpowder into retail stores and all types of different, obviously, industries. So it all starts with a concept. Somebody sat down and said, this sounds good. Let's try this. The difference is that these companies have foundational principles that they follow to build and scale and grow businesses to that size. Control your platform, control your content, control vertical integration if that's applicable to your business. And number 4, control your database. Now, before we close on out real quick, guys, let me just share my social media contact information and resource links. So anything long, family, hit me on my email address, jayjones@blackentrepreneurblueprint.com, jayjones@blackentrepreneurblueprint.com. Facebook, Black Entrepreneur Blueprint. Twitter, jayjones001, jayjones001. Instagram, I have 2 IG accounts. The first one is jayjones for real, jayjones, the number 4, REAL. Second one is Black Entrepreneur Blueprint. YouTube, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Go to YouTube, type in Black Entrepreneur Blueprint, hit that subscribe button. We have additional content on YouTube that we do not have on the show. LinkedIn, connect with me there, Jay Jones, Black Entrepreneur Blueprint. Also Clubhouse @IamJJ. Jones. Now, to tap in with the ecosystem, I mentioned at the top of the show my latest book, A New Black Wall Street, Circulating the Black Dollar Worldwide by Building Successful E-Commerce Businesses. The best thing to do is go to the website, blackentrepreneurBlueprint.com. Everything I talk about is on the website. So go to blackentrepreneurBlueprint.com. On the first page, you'll see all my online courses, Brand Builder Academy Elite for e-commerce people. Also, you have BEB Academy, get 3 days access to that. And also pinpoint and monetize your genius. Your genius is the intersection of your passion and your talent. The problem is most people don't know how to monetize that. Those are the 3 online courses or programs. The book is out there. We also have all types of free content on the website. So when you go to blackentrepreneurBlueprint.com, hit the Learn tab. And if you want resources on mindset and strategy, scaling your business, entrepreneurship, also in terms of e-commerce, marketing, we have everything there. If you're lazy, just go to bebconnect.com. It's going to take you right to the website, blackentrepreneurBlueprint.com. Now, I say this each and every week, family. We get more and more downloads because of you, the BEB family. We couldn't do without you guys. I love and respect and appreciate you guys. Please continue to spread the word about the podcast, the ecosystem, all of the content to help elevate your entrepreneur IQ, and make sure you utilize the website, blackentrepreneurBlueprint.com. We want that to be the resource for Black entrepreneurs. Love you guys. See you same time next week. Peace.